Hey, it's Gareth with Mountaincoffee Outdoors. Seems like I ought to come up with a little better intro to my videos than that. But anyway, I'm here. You know, what can we say? It's not the best of times, but at the same time, it's also not the worst of the times as it could be. It's late March, and the world and my home country of the United States is currently in the middle of this, or really more at the beginning of this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, and it's not all that great of a time, obviously. I want to talk a little bit about that later, but I actually do work in the healthcare field, and in some ways I'm very much so going to be on the front lines of this battle. But believe it or not, I actually got a few days off. I got lucky enough to get about 3 days off of work, so I decided to come out and just at least do a little overnight camp out just to get away, because honestly I don't really know when I'm going to be able to go out and do this again for a while. So I just want to get some time out to get some time outdoors to kind of de-stress, to just kind of sit back and breathe some fresh air. With all the mask wearing that's going on now for obvious reasons, I guess probably appreciate the fresh air even more. But it's going to get my campsite set up. I decided to just hammock camp for the night. Well, this really turned out to be a very beautiful spring day. Earlier in the day, it was pretty overcast and the sun wasn't out. It was a little bit on the cool side. It's still kind of comfortably cool. But yeah, the sun's come out. It's really nice. I want to apologize for the fact that I'm pretty sure on this video that you can hear some rather annoying construction noise in the background. I'm camped on a hill out here in the Flint Hills in Kansas, but across the valley on a hilltop over here, there's a couple excavators banging away at stuff, moving rock around and stuff, so that's what that annoying sound is. But like I alluded to earlier, I'm out here just on a little overnight camp out. Figured I'd get away while I could. Yeah, we're definitely in the midst of the this coronavirus pandemic. It's starting to show up in Kansas, as it is pretty much starting to show up, across the United States now. I do kind of feel that, it's kind of a scary time. We haven't ever, in the United States, it has been a long time since we've dealt with something quite like this. And most people that are under the age of I don't know, 60 or 70, which is, the majority of the population. We've had it pretty well in this country. There's been ups and downs, but there hasn't been just kind of across the board scary stuff like this for a long time. Last time that a disease pandemic hit the United States was back in 1918 with that flu pandemic that spread across the world. And oddly enough, where that flu pandemic first showed up at was at Camp Funston in Fort Riley, Kansas, which is a place I drove right past on my way out here today. That's where the virus showed up. I know one theory is that out in southeast Kansas, and about a county away from where I used to live and work for about 3 years, possibly that pandemic started with some pigs, that it was a swine flu, and that some farm boys that were going into the army in World War I, they brought it with them to Camp Funston, and then it spread amongst the troops there, and then it went over to Europe. But anyway, we haven't had a pandemic, like this for many years. In a lot of ways, we've been pretty spoiled. But here one is upon us. Scary times. But, I think it's good to keep in mind that this isn't, it's not the end of the world. Things could be a lot worse than they are. Good thing is, with this coronavirus, at least the majority of people will be okay. They'll get it, might not even know they had it. They'll get over it. Unfortunately, though, there are a lot of people that are very old, very sick, bad health, that this stuff's going to hit them very hard, and has hit some of them very hard, and some of them will die from it. That's a sad fact reality, but most of us will get through this okay. That's why it's important for all of us to do what we can to slow the spread of this stuff. The more the bad cases of it are stretched out, the better we can take care of people in our healthcare system. I in no way, shape, or form speak for my employer, and I'm not going to tell you where I work. That way they can't get mad at me. But I work in the healthcare system. I'm a CT tech. I probably have mentioned that somewhere along my videos somewhere. So I'm very much so on the front lines of dealing with some of these folks, because it's emerged that CT scans can be very useful in helping doctors diagnose patients that have bad cases of the COVID-19 virus. So last Friday I got fit tested for a N95 mask, and I went home and I shaved off, cut my beard back to a goatee, and so it'll seal around my mouth. And that was kind of a sobering thing to do in a sense. And I have to say, it's not like it was some big sacrifice. It wasn't. The last several years, if I had a full beard by about the end of March, I usually shaved it back to a goatee anyway. But I really kind of, in some ways, felt kind of like soldiers that were going off to battle, and who, once they hit boot camp, they buzzed off their hair and in kind of preparation to go to war. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to act like I'm making anywhere near close to the sacrifices that our veterans made going off to war to protect our freedoms, and a lot of them died in the process. I'm not saying I'm doing anything remotely that I'm not making those type of sacrifices at all. But I do kind of feel that this is a war that that has come to us, and that I'm one of those people that are somewhat up, on the front lines of dealing with it. I'm going to be dealing with sick people. I'm going to be dealing with this virus that I don't want to catch, because I don't want to take it home and give it to my wife. I don't want to spread it around to other people. Trying times have come upon us. We do need to take some deep breaths, realize that, number one, there's no reason to panic, that things aren't quite as scary as sometimes they may sound. We'll get through this together. Most of us will get through this just fine, and it's up to us to really do what we can to help limit the spread of this stuff. The bad thing will be is if everybody gets this all at once, and the healthcare system will be totally overwhelmed, and that will be a problem. I think it's important for us to, take the time that we can to just kind of relax. Just kind of look at the ways that the things in our life that we have that are good. And I know this whole virus thing is hitting a lot of people in ways which, financial ways. People are losing their jobs. People's businesses are going under, or at the very least bit are taking huge hits right now. It is scary, but we're still here at least. There hasn't been some sort of nuclear war that's broken out that's just instantaneously wiped us off the face of the earth or anything. So it's it's rough. It's rough, but we can still kind of sit back and be glad that we have our family still. Hopefully most of them, I think the majority of us have that. It's a good time to, quite frankly, to say some prayers. Ask God for help getting through this. It's a good time to come together as fellow humans and work together throughout this, help each other out, look out for each other. Because I think at the end of this, I think that's what we're going to be looking back at, is how we came together and how we beat this thing and we got through it together. Hard times are great opportunities for people to really shine, and I think we have one of those opportunities upon us. But anyway, enough of that. I'm just glad to get out, spend a little time camping. Believe it or not, I actually do have a few days off from work because things haven't hit too hard yet at work. So I'm going to take this opportunity to get out while I can. This season, or this spring, I started following along with some of the folks that were out doing through hikes, like on the Appalachian Trail, and there's a lot of good folks making great YouTube videos chronicling their journey along the trail. But somehow last fall, I think I ran across Taylor, the Nahamsha hiker, I think is her YouTube channel name. If it's not, I'll put a little correction here. But she started her channel up, at least I ran across her channel back last fall when she was getting ready to hike the Appalachian Trail this spring. And I started watching her videos, and back in, I think she started down the trail on February 29th. But anyway, I was having a lot of fun enjoying watching her daily kind of updates and following along her stuff on Instagram. And then this coronavirus thing just blew up in the United States. And she's since, I know she made it 200 some miles down the trail. She made it through the Smokies into into North Carolina. And she had made I think a very good decision to go home, to not potentially spread the virus down the trail and to not get sick with it and be out in the woods and that sort of thing. So it's really sad to see, and I know that she's not the only one. Other people have pulled off the trail too. I know Darwin on the Trail, he was doing a section hike along the southern part of the trail, and he's pulled off, gone home. I think that's a good decision. And I just feel awful for these folks, just the thru hikers, the thru hiker community that was trying to do these thru hikes this year, because they make all these arrangements, and even with like employment and housing, like some people even like sell their houses and stuff to hit the trail. They make all these preparations, and then to have something like this happen, it's awful. I feel horrible for them, but it's, I don't know. You just never know what's going to happen. Every once in a while, things do happen. But anyway, I was going to make a little point to say that I noticed as I was getting ready this morning to come out camping that Taylor, Nahamsha hiker, had uploaded her next little installment because she has a few more. I think she has a few more videos to come, and I saw that she had put it on YouTube. I didn't get a chance to watch it this morning, but I thought if I get out here and my phone works, if I have enough data, I'll make a point to watch the video. So I did, and this little backwoods YouTube watching here. But anyway, I'm excited to follow along with her stuff next year. She's going to try the trail again. Anyway, so yeah, I recommend if you want to follow along with some through hiking stuff, you know, hit her channel up. This whole pandemic thing it really strikes me as surreal a lot of the time. It just, in some ways, life is so absolutely disrupted, and then in other ways, every once in a while, I can just kind of forget about it. You know, over the weekend, I watched a movie with my wife, and you know, for that amount of time, I was pretty much able just to forget what's going on in the world, kind of take a little break from it, and then you kind of come back to reality, and it's just a weird feeling. And being out in nature, you know, it's nature, the biology that's going on around here, it's just going along as it usually does. It's spring out here. You know, the plants are doing their thing, the animals are doing their thing, the microbes in the soil are doing their thing. Life just goes on. And yeah, out in the world, there's this virus going around that's doing its destructive biological thing. It's just weird. It's weird that some parts of the world could be so normal, while our human world is just so disrupted right now. It's odd. But enough rambling on. Really ought to get some firewood cut. There's firewood around here, but I haven't really cut any yet. But I have a little fire tonight. I just kind of went the lazy route. I brought my Trangia stove to cook supper and breakfast on, and it's just a little easier using that, I guess. I love cooking over a fire and all, but every once in a while I kind of like to change it up and use one of my outdoor gear toys. For supper tonight, I made some buckwheat with some canned pork, a couple bouillon cubes. Smells pretty good. I think that's a little bit too much food for me to eat, but oh well. I have to say that this meal was probably inspired in large part by Lars on Survival Russia, because at least it used to be he was always eating buckwheat, and he was always taking out cans of canned pig meat, as he would say. So that's what I made tonight. Good, hearty, healthy food. That buckwheat's good for you. A lot of protein and stuff in there. Fiber. Hopefully you can see me. I feel like I have all sorts of light shining in my face. This stuff turned out pretty well. Probably can't, there we go. Can't see it too well, but it has buckwheat with some pork in there. Smells like buckwheat. Yeah, not bad. Good, hearty supper. Just gonna go to work on this here for a while. Get some good stay warm fuel in me for the night. There's just nothing quite like sitting by a warm campfire on a cool night. Never exactly alone if you're by a fire. It's kind of weird how they keep you company so well. Definitely one of life's simple pleasures. But that's about it for me for the night, I think. I'll say goodnight, and see you in the morning. Start for some coffee. Yeah, this coffee, it's not particularly good. I thought it might sort of be like the Starbucks Via or the Alpine Start, but it's not. It just tastes like instant coffee. But it was cheap, so I decided to give it a shot. Well, I brought some English muffins and Spam and eggs and some of this Camembert cheese. I was gonna, cook some eggs and Spam and make little English muffin things out of it, but I had so much. But I had a bit of supper last night left over, so I ate some of that. I don't really think I need to cook everything like I was planning on, so I'm just going to cut up some cheese and have it in my coffee. Some nice mold covered cheese. It's supposed to be that way. This stuff definitely isn't very good for you, I'm sure. It's like the sun's almost trying to come out. Actually, at least as of right now, this coffee tastes pretty good. Still has that instant taste to it, but it's better than really cheap instant coffee. So, well, the morning's about gone now, so I've been packing up my stuff, and I'll be getting out of here pretty soon. Just having a last cup of coffee. This is the Starbucks Via French roast, so it tastes a little bit better. The excavators are still at it on the hill on the other side of the valley. Although they apparently took a break because it hasn't been too noisy up until for the last hour or two. But anyway, I'm just going to pack up my stuff, head home, head back into reality, unfortunately. But, at least I got out here, got to enjoy some good quality outdoors time. So, just want to say to everybody, we are in trying times, obviously. But just keep positive as you can, be as hopeful as you can, because there are obviously reasons to hope. Help each other out. But stay apart as best as you can for a while to slow the spread of this thing. And anyway, and I wish those people that do get very sick with it the best, and for a great, speedy, 100% recovery. And I'll be talking to you later eventually. This is Gareth with Mountain Coffee Outdoors. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, everybody. Stay well.